My people, welcome to Rant and Randomness. I'm your host, Luvvie and Ajayi Jones, New York Times bestselling author, speaker, and professional troublemaker. And I'm here to share dope conversations that'll give you something to think about, help you smile, and feel empowered to do the thing that feels hard. So let's get into it. Today, I'm talking to Tiwa Savage. If you don't know Tiwa, you're about to fall in love with her and her music. In addition to her amazing studio albums, she co-wrote and sang Keys to the Kingdom from The Lion King, The Gift, and Black is King. Y'all saw her in that visual album. And her fourth studio album, Celia, just dropped last Friday, August 28th, and it's amazing. During our conversation, we talk about the importance of her mom's voice in her life, in her career. We talk about how tough the music industry is. We have a conversation about how she moved to London and basically how that changed her life. Before we jump into this interview, I want to make sure the Rants fam knows that my new book, Professional Troublemaker, The Fear Fighter Manual, comes out March 2nd, 2021, and it's available for pre-order right now. I wrote this book because I realized everything great in my life has come as a result of me choosing to be a professional troublemaker. From feeling afraid and choosing to do the scary thing anyway, that is what has spurred me forward. We don't need to make ourselves fearless. We need to learn to fight the fear and imposter syndrome we feel and use it as fuel to become better versions of ourselves. The things that I'm talking about in this book will take you from being a fear hider to being a fear fighter. And heaven knows, we got a lot of things that bring up fear right now. So to pre-order, go to professionaltroublemakerbook.com to learn more. Grab the links to pre-order. It's everywhere books are sold. Thank you in advance. Rants fam, I am so excited to be talking to Tiwa Savage on Rants. A little background, some of y'all already know her. Tiwa is Nigeria's female pop star Afrobeats queen with over 2 decades as a performer, songwriter, and 11 million followers on Instagram. Tiwa is an absolutely unstoppable talent. She's worked with all the big names during her career. She's the first African female artist to sell out London's Indigo 2 venue. And by the time you'll be listening to this episode, her new album, Celia, will have just dropped. So make sure you pick it up. And if her new single with Sam Smith called Temptation does not get you moving, there might be something wrong with you. You saw her in Beyonce's Black is King visual album. Yo, Tiwa's everything. So let's get started. Tiwa, what's up?
What's up, my sister? Remember when we first met a few years ago? I think it was in New York. I don't know if you remember.
Janelle Monáe's
yes!
event.
Yes. And I was just, and then when I found out you guys are Nigerian, I was just quiet. I was just looking, I was just like, oh my goodness. Then like, this is amazing. Just seeing powerful women of color in one room was just so, that was like actually really, really beautiful for me to see that day.
That was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so empowering. So
yes,
I'm always curious to find out from people, what did you want to be when you were growing up? What was little Tiwa saying she was going to be?
I definitely wanted to go into music, like, or entertainment or something. Because I used to like dance. I used to like do role plays. Like I had imaginary friends. I used to pretend like I was a princess and all this. Like I definitely used to, I knew I was going to go in this field. It wasn't until I was like maybe 11, 12 that I knew it was specifically music.
How did your parents react when you first said you want to be a musician? Because you know how Niger parents are. They always want us to be doctor, lawyer, attorney, right? Engineer, architect. And when you're like, Mom, Dad, I want to be a singer. How did they react?
So my mom said, that's nice. You can be in the choir. And I was like, no, Mom, like, you know, a pop star, like that kind of thing. And my dad was just like, no. My dad was like, pick one. Lawyer, doctor, engineer, accountant, I'm sorry. So he gave me like the choice of doing, you know, the typical things that African parents tell you to do. And my mom was just like, you know what, if she really wants to go into music, I'm going to support her. And that's why I named this album Celia, just to pay homage to her, because I mean, without her, I definitely won't be doing this today.
Yo, that's actually amazing. Your mom is a revolutionary, because to be an African mom, to be like, I'm going to support my daughter as a singer, that in itself is a revolution.
Because, like you said, back then, like all my aunts were like, you're crazy. Which husband is going to marry a singer? Like, how much money is she going to make? Like, so she'll be out all night performing on stage. Oh, look after our kids. It was all these things they said to my mom, and she was still like, no, like if she wants to go into music, I'm not going to stop her. In fact, I'm going to encourage her. So she would give me money to go to rehearsals, to go to shows. He helped me when I got a scholarship to go to Berklee College of Music. She would send me extra money for, tuition, for like accommodation and stuff like that. So she's a strong African woman to do that for me.
That's incredible. That is honestly incredible. And that is game changing, because thinking about how much that pushed you forward and how you might not be a Tiwa Savage if it wasn't for her. How was growing up? Where did you grow up? Are you a Lagos girl?
Yes. I was born in Lagos, and I stayed here till I was about 11. And then I moved to London.
Where did you go after that?
I went to London, and that was a terrible experience at first. Like, because when my mom told me we're moving to London, you couldn't tell me anything in my class. I was like, I'm leaving this Africa. I'm going to be abroad. I'm going to London. I was excited. And then when I got there and I got to school and I was bullied, they're like, oh, look at you, foo, booty scratcher, African did it. And I was just like, I remember crying every day to my mom, like, I want to go back, because I was really traumatized growing up. I was ashamed. I'll be honest with you. I was ashamed to be African when I was in London. I remember I used to lie to people that I was Jamaican, and my mom would show up at school, at parent-teacher like meetings, and she'd show up in ghillie and ashoke, and I'd be like, Mom,
why? You're like, why, Mom?
Yeah, you could have just worn a dress, okay? Like, no one would know I'm African if you just wore a dress. So I would get teased. So now to see how much love the continent is getting, just through music, through fashion, through movies, just in general, just to see the Black Panther movement, to see the Blackest King from Beyonce, just to see how Bernard, David, yourself, and just to now see Africans in diaspora like rising up, supporting African music, and they're proud of their heritage. It's like, it's a blessing for us to live in this time. It really is.
Yeah, because I, like you, we moved to the U.S. when I was 9. Me too. They didn't even tell me. They said they were going on vacation. I didn't realize we were staying until they actually enrolled me in school. And I was like, oh, so we're not going back to Nigeria. What happened? I didn't even say goodbye to my best friend. So I know exactly how you feel, because the moment I walked in class, I knew I was too different. Yeah. I knew that Luvvie and Ajayi was not an accepted name in that room. I was like, it's not going to work on me at all. No. These kids are not going to be able to say my name.
And your teachers are going to mess it up. They're going to be like, Luvvie, Ajayi, and you'll be like,
yeah. In fact, that would be if they got it right.
Just say Ife.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I was like, you know what? I scrapped it. I said, don't even call me Luvvie. So I stopped going by it. I went by Luvvie because that's what my aunt used to call me. And then Luvvie became Luvvie. So, because I instantly knew it was too different. And I remember that time of how I lost my accent. I would listen to my classmates speak, and I'd be like, I can talk like that.
Shut up.
That's how I lost my accent. By the time high school started, most of my Nigerian accent was gone, because I was like, listen, I'd be like, I could do that. Yeah, I think I can sound like that. That's how my accent got lost. So I definitely feel you on how being African was not cool. No. It wasn't cool.
No, but that's the lie. That's the lie that was just instilled in so many people. And I'm also glad with how, the Black Lives Matter, the movement, because it's really for us to teach ourselves that there's no difference. This is the time where Caribbeans, Haitians, Africans, Black British, African Americans, just drop that title and just know that we are all Africans. Like, that's how we're all going to unite and just make, be a powerful force, because we've all been lied to that we're different, and we're not. You could tell from our music, our food, like our culture, like it's in us. And that's why it's important for us to reunite, not just with our African brothers and sisters, like in the diaspora, but our Haitian brothers, our Jamaican brothers, and just everyone across the globe.
Yeah, it's time. It is time. But back to you moving to London. That is a fascinating story. So you ended up singing backup vocals for a bunch of folks.
Yes.
Drop some names.
That's oh wow. So I did George Michael, may his soul rest in peace. The last Whitney Houston's album, may her soul rest in peace. I had like backup vocal credits. I did backup for Mary J. Blige, Baby Spice from Spice Girls, just, you know, Blue Cantrell back then.
Oh my God. You basically, you know, there's some people who are like, they end up in this historic moments or end up being tied to these historic people. So we need to basically be doing 6 degrees of Tiwa Savage at this point. You did George Michael.
Yeah, that was like so amazing, because when I wanted to go into music, by the way I got into music was so like random. Like I was in high school and like I said, I was teased a lot. And obviously even in the midst of being teased as a young girl, I had a crush on a guy. Like how do you have time to have a crush when they're flushing your head down the toilet every day? Anyway, wow. I have a crush on this guy, and I noticed that he used to, you know, take music classes after school, and he was, you know, hanging around with the musicians. So I went to the teacher and I was like, I want to do music. I want to take part in the next Sound of Music play. And he was just like, all the parts are gone. So I'm like, I don't care. He's like, well, we have a trombone section, a horn section. And the last instrument is this big old trombone. And I was like carrying this trombone. I was getting beat up all the time because it was taking so much space. But long story short, I went back to my teacher and I was just like, I can't play the trombone, but I think I can sing. And he allowed me to audition. And then he was like, wow. Away. Yeah. And then everybody became my friend. I saw the guy a few years ago and I was like, thank God that didn't work out. Like
Jesus saves us from ourselves, okay?
You did not age well.
And that is amazing payback, okay? The way my petty set up, I'd be like, okay.
So from there, I just started getting gigs, like, you know, locally. People are like, there's this new African girl. She has a great voice. And then, you know, I just started performing in the local bars and stuff. And I just started getting gigs from there.
So you ended up also now doing business administration.
Yeah, because my dad, remember I told you my dad gave me 5 options, and so business and accounts. So I ended up going to school to do business and accounts. And then when I finished, I gave him his certificate and I said, I don't know whether you need to roll a joint with it, but I'm done with it.
Not roll a joint.
I don't know what you want it. I don't know what you need to do with it, but this is your certificate and I'm done.
Like, don't ask me for nothing else. I did that one thing you told me to do. Right. So now I'm going to do what I want to do.
All right. And my mom's like, go Tiwa, go.
Your mom is lit, okay? Your mom is lit. I'm here for her, okay? I need us to know more about your mom one day, so I'm glad that this album is named after her. So people don't realize this, but you on the UK edition of X Factor.
Oh my, well, you had to bring that up. That's a terrible.
Wait, I gotta know all the tea. And you signed a publishing deal from it, didn't you?
Well, afterwards, I came back to the States and I started writing for people, and then I got a Sony ATV publishing deal. But yeah, I was in X Factor. Oh my God.
You're like, oh no. So you were writing songs for artists like Babyface, Fantasia, Monica. Yes, Again, 6 degrees of Tiwa Savage.
Yeah.
So how did you actually end up learning the songwriting piece of it all? Because at this point, you're self-taught as a musician.
Yes. Well, yes, exactly. After graduating from Berkeley, then I moved to New York, and I was going into studios. I'm always a hustler. Like wherever you put me in the world, I'm always going to find my way. So I found my way to some random studio in New York, and, you know, people in the room singing, and I'm just like, oh, can I put a melody down? And from there, I just, people are just like, oh, okay, this is good, this is not. But a lot of times too, I sit and I watch and I learn a lot and I soak so much. So people always think that I'm quiet, I'm reserved, but I'm actually just soaking things in, and I'm just like, okay, how can I learn this, or how can I imitate this? And that's literally how I learned songwriting, just listening and watching people in the studio and just, seeing how they vibe.
That's wild. So usually one thing that you do will lead you to the next thing. Yeah. What do you think is the key to that? You've been able to eat and build this amazing career on these weird accidents that are really not accidents because it's clearly divine design, what is the thing that you think pushes you forward? Why do you think people keep on saying like Tiwa special, besides the obvious of like you can sing your ass off and you can write your ass off, all of that?
I can't, I mean, aside from my family, my mom, and just having a great team, I can't take away the glory from God, because I just see his hand in everything I do. In like,
yeah.
I mean, I am, first of all, a 40-year-old woman, a divorced woman, a single mom. That's not who you sign. Like a record label in America is, I mean, they don't go, oh yeah, she's divorced. Oh yeah, we need her. And she's a single mom. Oh yeah. And she's 40. Oh yeah, we definitely need to sign her. They usually look for 16, 18-year-old, 20-year-olds. And for them to sign me at this age with everything that's going on, I just feel like that's just God. And it's bigger than me. I feel like I'm here to be an inspiration to other women, to be like, yo, I don't care what stage of your life you're in, whether you're married, you just had a baby, or you owe it to yourself to take that step towards your destiny. Yeah. You owe it to yourself, because a lot of people unfairly put this pressure on us to know what we want to do by 18 or 25 when I don't even know myself till I'm in my 30s. I don't feel like I'm confident in myself till I'm like in my late 30s. So why do I have to stop being a model at 22? Why do I have to stop being a footballer at 20 something when I'm really fit in my 30s? Like, so I want to use myself as an inspiration to anyone out there who's listening. Like, don't listen to when they say your time is up, because your time ain't up until God says it's up.
Amen. Your time is definitely not up. And you, as a mom, how has motherhood changed your music, if it has, and how has it changed just how you look at life?
It's definitely made me a lot more confident in myself, like just in my skin and my body, because I just feel like what example am I showing my son if I'm fearful? Not that I'm not still afraid of certain things, but I'm just a lot more stronger and confident, and I'm a lot more, I think even the opposite. I feel like a lot of people thought that when I had my son, I'm going to be a lot more conservative, but I just went the opposite. I got a sleeve tattoo that we were talking about earlier on. I got piercings. I like sassy in my lyrics, and people are like, yeah, mother, your child is going to grow up to see this. And I'm like, yeah. And he's going to be like, my mom is a bad.
Come on. Yes. Yes. And I love that, because, also like, I think, Nigerians can be very conservative when it comes to parenthood and
women.
And women in general. So them thinking your life is over because now you're a mom. Why? What about you as a mother? But you decide to take it to the opposite way. What is the lesson you think your son has taught you? What is the biggest lesson?
To be patient. And a lot. I think that's the main thing, because I see myself when he wants something and he's like, because he only has snacks on Sundays. So on Tuesday, he'll be like, is it Sunday yet? And I'm like, no. Is it Wednesday? Is it Sunday yet? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, you have to be patient. And then there was one time when I was in the car and we were stuck in traffic, and I was just like, oh, move the car. He's like, Mom, you have to be patient. And I said, this little, I said, yes, Jamil, you're right. Yes. I have to be patient. So he's taught me that he learns more through my actions than what I say. So, and even in life in general, I just learned that my action speaks louder than words. So I learned to say please and thank you a lot, because I want him to do that. So he's literally just, I don't know, I'm like a child again with him, and just relearning all the things that society has kind of like tried to strip away from us.
So how do you do global touring with him? Do you bring him along?
No, I used to, but he's in school now and my mom's around. So when I have to tour, I leave him at home, because I just don't want to take him out of school and then like have to, I want him to be stable. So he's at home.
Gotcha. So as a musician at this point, the fact that you're 40 and you've been in this industry at this point for over 20 years, you keep rising over and over again. You keep reinventing yourself. You have so many accomplishments, so many accolades. What do you think you're most proud of about your career?
Oh, I don't know if there's that one thing. I think it's what you've said, like a combination of the fact that I just keep finding ways to be relevant and just growing. Like, you know, when you feel like, oh, I'm really big in Nigeria, then the next step is, okay, I want to be big in Africa. And now the stage I'm in is now like, I want to be big globally, or at least like my music be heard globally. So I don't know when next. I don't know, maybe try for Mars or something. Maybe are there people out there? I mean, yeah. Hey.
Who's gonna tell us to do less? Why stop? Like, why? Who's gonna tell us to do less? No. In fact, me, I'm like, why even stop at Mars? Why not even the moon? Honestly, why? Look, I'll gas you up all day, every day. I've listened to your music for a long time, and I remember one of the first times I actually posted it on Instagram story, and you replied to me. I was like, "Yo, Tiwa Savage replied to my Instagram story." Because one of my things as this person who's at the intersection of a lot of areas and a lot of identities is that I also want to kind of show people what my world looks like. And being able to share Afro beats, which is a huge part. Like, I listen mostly to 90s R&B or Afro beats. There's like no in between for me. And then sometimes I'll give you some pop, but most of the music that I listen to is that. And I love the fact that now Afro beats is becoming mainstream. That's wild to me, because I'm just like, yo, who would have thunk it?
And it's good that we don't have to change so much. Like, we're still keeping our pidgin in there. We're keeping Yoruba, Igbo.
Yes.
And if you don't know it, you need to learn it. Like, you know, because sometimes we have to learn Spanish words and like, I don't know patois, but I'll be singing Sean Paul like I know what he's saying.
And you know that they have BBC Pidgin now? Have you seen it?
Yes. I'm terrible. My pidgin is terrible, so I've been running away.
BBC Pidgin is a whole situation. And so as your career is now like at this level to the point where you're in Beyonce's biggest project to date, right? Like, which when I say I lost my mind when the video came on. I was over here like, what? I had to watch it 3 times. I was like, you and Yemi Alade. I was like, what is happening? This is so big.
Killed it. He gave us that energy. I said, yes, girl.
Give them. And you as a woman in music, I know the music industry tries to like do the whole pitting people against each other thing. Yeah. How do you fight that?
I think it's just everywhere. You know, it happens in America, it happens in the UK.
Everywhere.
Me personally, I honestly, I don't pay attention to it. I know it sounds cliche, but there's nothing else you can do. You can't feed into it, and you can't take it serious. You can't take it personally too. So it's actually like, you know, they're just trying to find ways of like comparing who's really good with another person that's really good. So in a way, it's like a compliment. You know, I mean, if they weren't even mentioning my name at all, I'll be like, hey guys, like I'm here. Yeah, it's just what it is. That's just part of, you know, that's what comes with our job, like our profession, and it happens everywhere. It's not just here. So
yeah, and I love when I see women collaborate in music, especially because they don't want us to do it. They don't want y'all to do it. It's just like, women fight. So which is why you are also really big and you're such a vocal voice when it comes to feminism and women's rights. Mm-hmm. So you have an initiative called We Are Tired.
Yes.
To fight against rape culture in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm. And that's literally just to piggyback on all the other great organizations that have been there way before for me and have been fighting this cause for a long time. So I'm literally just lending my voice and my platform to something that, you know, really hit hard for me during this lockdown, because I guess normally when you're busy and you're traveling up and down, you see the headline that you're just like, oh, okay, and then you move on. But here it's like, you're doing nothing, and then you're literally just watching your social media and you're like, this is crazy. And then you realize how bad it is. And I just had enough, and I was tired, and I was just like, oh, we are tired. And the hashtag started trending. I didn't even mean it. I didn't have any organization set up at that time. And then so I woke up the next day and I was just like, I can't just stop with, you know, a hashtag. I have to find a way to, like, you know, just continue to build this. So we're in the process of registering the company and getting finance together, because what I really want to do is provide legal aid to young girls, because most of the time they don't have money for legal aid. So that's really what I want to do, is help them in that way.
And that's real, because, rape culture is big everywhere, but in certain places, it's some serious hotspots. We talk about rape culture in the United States. It's awful, of course. In a super hyper patriarchal society like Nigeria, it's especially bad because people don't really have any recourse. So in the piece that that was written about you in Guardian about this initiative, they were saying how there were 700 registered cases of rape in Nigeria between January and May. And you want to talk about underreporting? Like, it's not even real.
That's not exactly. And it's even worse. Like, a lot of times, like, some of the girls in my DM, they'll say to me when they go to this police station, the kind of questions they'll ask them is alarming. It's like, what were you wearing? What does that have to do with anything?
What does that have to do with anything?
What time was it? Was it in a club? Was it in a concert? Like, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I don't care if I'm laying down butt naked on my bed. No, no is no.
Correct. And this is huge. I'm so glad you're doing this, because I get overwhelmed sometimes when I think about how powerless women are rendered in certain places. I mean, in the US, which is supposed to be the global leader, we're still rendered powerless. So let alone in a developing country like Nigeria, that has a lot of these archaic views that we don't even interrogate on a day-to-day basis. This is a massive issue that I'm glad you are lending your voice and your power to. How do you, I guess, what do you want? What is the ideal win to come out of We Are Tired?
So I know I can't solve everyone's issues, but what I want to do, like I said, is piggyback on organizations that are already doing this. And even if it's 2-3 cases that I take on a year, or like we take on, and seeing it, fall all the way through, and seeing these perpetrators behind bars, because I feel like that will eventually start to deter other people, because so many people get away with it so much. That's a win for me. Even if it's one girl that I'm able to save, like, that's really my dream right now, to do that.
And do you have mentees?
No. So I literally just started this all off of my social media.
I know how that is.
Yeah, and I literally went to the DSS. I went to the police, Commissioner of Police, visited these people, and I'm actually joining forces with other artists like Don Jazzy, Daria Talade. We have a separate organization that we're putting together as well. So there's a lot of people involved in this that are lending their voice. Apart from my foundation, they have like another foundation. There's like, and it just seems like a Me Too moment in Nigeria. Like, a lot of artists are just standing up and they're just like, okay, we have to do something.
What do you think your responsibility is with your platform that you have outside of We Are Tired? How do you see this 11 million followers that hear you on Instagram every day?
That's why this album was really important, because I feel like music can also be a healing tool, especially with this lockdown. So, I have songs that are great, club records, like you want to work out to, but I also have songs that you want to listen to when you just feel like the world is coming to an end, and it's specific to women. So to my female followers, Celia is like a celebration of women of color, and just the different emotions that we go through, the different textures we have as Black women and African women. So
I was creating
was great. We spent 2 weeks in a hotel, and we rented about 8-9 rooms, and day and night we just had different producers. Like, sometimes the room would have 3 producers, sometimes it would have 10 writers, 2 writers, me by myself with the guitarist, and it was seamless, day and night, and we were just recording. We didn't listen to anything, no music, no radio, no playlist, no nothing, and we were just all vibing, and we would play songs, and we would have parties with that song, because I was just like, if we do a record and we can't dance to it, then how do you want somebody else to like dance to your record? So we spent 2 weeks in Nigeria literally just creating. That's the first time I've ever done anything like that.
Do you typically, what is your usual process?
So usually I'll just get like beats, or I'll go to the studio, I'll hear beats and I'll put ideas down, or I'll have like another songwriter, or I might have a concept in my head and I'll just call up a producer and like work, or the song might already be done, and I'll listen to it and change a few things. But this was different because it was like just working with so many different people simultaneously.
In a hyper bubble, basically.
Yes, absolutely. In the heat of Lagos.
In the heat of Lagos, in the energy of Lagos. I tell people, I was in Lagos in 2018. I brought 30 of my friends. Yo, Tiwa, wait, did we see? I don't know if we saw you. We came, it was me, Bose. We came with literally 30 of our friends. We stayed in Eco Atlantic. Oh, it was a whole situation.
Eco Atlantic?
We stayed in Eco Atlantic. Yeah, we got 10 apartments. Oh, it was a whole lit. Oh yeah, we were in there running through Lagos, like living our best lives. And then we went to Ghana where we met up with another 70 of our friends.
No, was that last year? That wasn't the year of the return, right? It was the year before.
It was the year before the year of return. I think we might have kicked off the year of return.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good place for creativity. Like, it is.
There's an energy.
The energy in Lagos is like, it's like intoxicating. That's what it is.
It's like New York times 10.
It's New York on steroids. It's like if New York took cocaine. Like, that is why I love that city. I'm like, whoo, but I can do 7 days before I have to leave. 7 days before. I'm like, my blood pressure is too high. I can't even do it.
I feel you. I've been here for like 5 months. Oh no, wait, since January. So it's longer than that. Been not gone anywhere. First time I've been here this long.
So how is that new experience? Because you back home now.
Yeah, I was at one point, I thought I was going crazy, but it was good because I got to spend time with Jamil. So yeah.
That's amazing. So with the album coming out, what do you want people to walk away feeling and saying about it?
I want them to be inspired. I want them to know that this is like, because I grew up, listening to female anthems like Brandy and Monica, and I want to do that on Afrobeat. So I want to have female anthems with Afrobeat. So I want people to be able to be like singing some of the songs and women just, just walking away with a piece of music that represents so many different emotions that they have, but in Afrobeat.
What do you? Well, this might be really tough. It's kind of like asking a mom for her favorite for her favorite kid. You don't have a favorite record, do you?
No. I don't know. Everybody keeps asking me that. I definitely, I don't. I it's hard. Like I don't. I really, really, honestly don't.
That's fair. Because I can't pick my favorite pair of shoes, so it's fair. You know what I mean? Same. I get you. You know what I mean? Same thing. I can't pick my favorite blazer. I understand. Trying to make you choose. You like, nope. Has your mom listened to it?
She just listened to it today. So I had like a little listening party with some of my fans, and I asked her to join in the Zoom meeting, and she heard it. My mom is so quiet. She's powerful, but she's very quiet. So she's like, it's very, very, very nice. My daughter, she works so hard. I'm just like,
they're so cute. They're quiet with the rest of the world, but just not with us. But it's okay. It's okay. Listen, I understand. She is very nice. Meanwhile, she probably called her friends.
Yeah, she went quiet when she used to whoop my butt. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. And I bet you afterwards, she called her friends like, if you listen to Tiwa's album. In fact, it was everything. So I know you're going to hear from other people like, she's so proud.
I know.
She's just the proudest. She thinks it's amazing. And you be like, did she tell me? She didn't tell me.
Oh, man.
I know that's how it goes. Rants fam, if you haven't joined us in Love Nation and become a Love Cousin yet, well, I need you to do that. Love Nation is my free community that is a safe space in a dumpster fire world. It's the place for the most thoughtful, funny, most chill-deficient people on the interwebs. We're a community that comes together to make each other better with curated conversations, opportunities to connect, and challenges to help us transform and do better in every area of our lives. You gotta stop sitting on this and come to lovenation.com. That's LUVVNATION. Download the app in the App Store or on Android and come through. So back to the podcast. So I'm always interested in how do you keep your friends grounded? How do you keep your girl squad together as you are world dominating?
So the honest truth is, doing this kind of job and being an artist, like, you definitely lose friends along the way, and that's not intentional. That's just because sometimes you have to miss birthdays and you have to miss weddings or whatever, and sometimes your closest friends, they just don't understand. They're just like, I don't get it. Like, I was there for this, I was there when you did your first recording, I was there when you went to the first show, and it's just like, I know, but how do I explain to you, like, I can't make this, like, so that's one of the hardest part. But my close friends, they still understand. They still, you know, they've been with me for so long, and we have a little chat every once in a while. They understand that even though we don't speak every day, when we do talk, like, we catch up, and it's like, you know, it just feels like yesterday. So.
Like nothing changed. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I understand that piece. In the level up, that's a huge piece that people always ask about is how do you curate a friend squad? How do you keep your friends? You will lose friends. It's just that nobody can say that they are trying to be successful and have kept every single friend, because you will lose people along the way. What do you try to make sure you do, even if it's once a week? Do you have any type of routines?
What, in terms of friends or just generally?
Just generally.
I don't. Do I? No, I was going to lie and say I go to the gym, but I don't. I don't want to lie to you guys.
Right. We're not lying.
Because you guys would go on my socials and they'd be like, we ain't never seen her post a picture.
She lied.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. No, I don't have anything.
Do you have a self-care routine? I always ask people, what do you do for self-care? What is the thing that makes you feel good?
I just started like doing all these like, you know, facials and stuff at home. Like, so I have all these like turmeric and, sorry, hold on one second. Okay. So I have all these, I've been trying all these like face masks and cucumbers and all this stuff, and it's actually really, really working. One of the home remedies that I did burnt my face, but we're good, we're back. Yeah, it's cool.
So wait, what is your favorite skincare product?
So I love Barbara Stern.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I love her serum and her face cream for darker tones. It's literally, because I used to have a lot of pigmentation, and it's literally just sparing everything. What else do I use? I have turmeric. I mix turmeric and honey, and I put it under my armpit and like, because I'm trying to get that blend.
The blend.
And rice flour is really good.
Really? For what?
For the same thing. So I use rice flour and I mix it with lemon and honey, and I'm stood there in the bathroom like this for 20 minutes. Like,
do you use? I'm a fan of like vitamin C serums.
Yes. Of course, yeah. I think. Wait, this Barbara Stem, I think it has vitamin C, or is it
hyaluronic?
Hyaluronic, that's it. Yes,
hyaluronic is good for moisture and like all of that stuff. I'm a vitamin C, but also like the sunlight in Lagos is intense. So what sunscreen are you using?
Honestly, I know the name. I don't know the name, but I do use sunscreen every day. I promise you. It has like a little yellow cap. I'm really sorry. You know what? I'm going to post it on my story. Is that it?
Super Goop? Is it with a white bottle with yellow cap?
White thin bottle with the yellow.
I think so. That might be Super Goop, because their color scheme is white, and a lot of Black women use it because it doesn't like leave gray cast on your face.
It doesn't. It's very light and it's very good under makeup as well. I'm gonna post it on my story because I swear by it. It's really good. And I want to break that notion that Black people think they don't need sun lotion.
Yo. We need sunscreen. Also, the cool thing is you being this chocolate woman. We ain't even touch on that thing. You're this chocolate woman who is visible in Nigeria, where being chocolate is not loved sometimes.
No,
that's massive. That is so massive. The fact that you don't bleach your skin is huge.
I did. I tried to when I was younger. When I was about 18. When I was about 18, I tried this. You know, because I was just under so much pressure and I just wanted to be light. my skin, like, you know, when I mean, the products are probably much better, but then it was like leaving patches on my skin, especially on my back. And my mom would notice, and she was just like, what are you doing to your skin? Like, and I was just like, nothing. And she one day went into my room, saw all these products, and she threw everything out, and she like had this long talk with me. And she just, I mean, I can't even remember exactly what it was, but I remember being ashamed that she caught me, and I stopped doing it after that. And, you know, that literally was just seeing how disappointed she was. Like, she was just like, you know, God didn't make a mistake. When he made you, he knows what he's doing. God, and you know, when Nigerian parents are talking to you, they say always God, Sha.
Yeah.
So she was like, God did not make a mistake.
Wow.
He knew what he was doing. And he and I just stopped. But I did try. And that's the honest truth. I did try.
But can I just say, I really appreciate you for actually saying that, because people don't have these real conversations about bleaching and the colorism that happens. I love the fact that your mom had that conversation with you, because I know people whose moms will get them bleaching creams and say, you're too dark. Yes.
What?
Yeah, girl. I actually wrote about this in my first book, because I was talking about how we just spend so much time judging the things that don't make sense, and we'll judge the skin tone that we were born with. And because of it, a lot of people are putting all types of toxic chemicals on their bodies in a way that is like, I want to be lighter. And we know as Nigerian women how big it is.
Yeah.
And how the whole lighting industry, it is just such a thing.
I mean, I know I have friends, I have really good friends that have gone through that process, and, you know, they're still really good friends of mine, and I love them. You know, I'm definitely not one to judge, but I just feel that the pressure is just so much on women, and a man grows up, and the darker he is, the more attractive he is.
Yeah.
What?
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How does it make sense?
Exactly. So if you, as a black man, if the darker you are, you're looking like Morris Chestnut, and all these people are like, ooh, you know, we need to do the same for black women.
And I think you are, because to your point of how your son has taught you that you have to be more than you even say, and he's learning from that. There are young Nigeria girls who are looking at you who are like, I mean, me and Tiwa the same color, I'm fine. She's good.
Yes, absolutely. We have to keep pushing that narrative. That, like, we have to keep pushing that narrative, because our story has been twisted and warped for so many years. So we need to switch it around. We need to. You know what?
The time is now. The time is now, and I think we are owning it. That's why I love who Bose represents. Bose is this 6 foot, midnight dark Ghanaian woman. And I'm just like, when she walks in the room, you can't ignore her. And I hope another girl sees that and says, I look just like that. I'm good.
Listen, she's just like this eagle that just walks in, and she doesn't care that she's tall. She will still wear like high heels. She has the hair even bigger, so she appears bigger, and she's unapologetic. That's what I love about it. Like, she's not trying to like hide in the corner. She's just like I don't know, man. Like, I'm so glad you brought her name, because she's beautiful, and I love what she's doing with her daughter as well. Like, I just watched them.
Yes, Lael, them two, they're the best together. Yeah, they're the best together. So I honestly I'm inspired by you more, even beyond the music of it all. You being this fierce voice, you being in a country that's not necessarily always asking and welcoming women, being a fierce voice. Not just that, on a global stage. As a global citizen, at this point, you've lived in 3 different countries at least, right? So you also are operating these different spaces and moving so well, and no matter what is thrown at you, you've handled it with so much grace. And I am proud to live in a time and place where Tiwa Savage exists.
Hey, thank you. That really means a lot to me. That really, really, really means a lot to me, because, you know, a lot of times we want to give up, and we just feel like, maybe this is the end of the road. Maybe I've tried. And then, like, you hear something like that, and you're just like, no, I still have more to do. So
we need you to keep going. So what do you want people to say about you when you are not in the room?
Oh.
Is that the first time somebody's asked you that?
Yes. I want them to be
questions.
make sure you get it right, because when Tiwa comes, she doesn't play around. She's a no-nonsense person. No, I want them to I want them to say like I'm a hardworking African woman who literally, I don't know, who didn't take no for an answer.
Yes, yes. And I think people will probably say that about you right now, because you definitely have taken any no's. Any no's. You're not taking any of it.
No, I don't even hear it no more. Before I used to, and I'll cry, but now I'm just like, oh, no. You mean yes, right? And if they say no. But by the time you wake up tomorrow, you will say yes.
So yes, I am excited to actually listen to this new album. I'm be playing it all over the house. I might be dancing on Insta story. My people will probably see. In fact, tomorrow, I'll be on Insta story, just living my best life, listening to it. Telling people I'll add it to because you know my Afro Beats playlist has been rolling.
Yes,
I will be adding a few tracks to it because I already know it's going to be popping. So I'm excited for you. And where do you want people? How do you want people to support you?
Share it, stream it, just share it with your loved one, friends. Just as girls, I want it to be like when I first heard the Brandy, the Boy's Mine, and I was just like telling all my girls, oh my God. So that's the energy I want them to. I just wanted to pass it on to like non-Africans, just to women, just all across the globe, and just I wanted to move.
We doing #1 Billboard single. That's what we claiming in Jesus' name. We are claiming it in Jesus' name. #1 Billboard single. It hits all the hits.
Won't he?
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Tiwa, thank you so much for joining me on Rants. I'm so glad we're able to have this conversation, and I am always here for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yo, that was amazing. Tiwa is brilliant. I loved her transparency about being an African woman, being a Nigerian woman. I love her lessons about the music industry. Love that she's a mom. I'm a fan of women who are boldly and fiercely themselves, and Tiwa showed up and gave us the gems. So be sure to follow her on social media. She's at Tiwa Savage on Instagram and Twitter. And you definitely got to get her new album, Celia, that just dropped last Friday. Much love to Chicago Recording Company, who I've been partnering with from the start of this podcast, and where I currently don't record this podcast, but they're such a huge help putting my recordings from home together and making the sound on point. Thank you for listening to Rants and Randomness. One quick thing that you could do to help new listeners find our show is make sure you subscribe to Rants and Randomness in your podcast platform of choice. Second, make sure you rate this show and leave a comment with a review, whether you're listening in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Stitcher. And finally, please share those insights and mic drop moments on social media, and be sure to tag us. We are at Rants and Randomness on Instagram, and Twitter, we are at Rants Randomness, no and. As always, you can follow me on social media. I'm at Luvvie everywhere.